I do want to bring up the fact that you were the one that brought up the word super predator about young black youth. And that's a term that I think was it's been horribly met, as you know. I think you've apologized for it. But I think it was a terrible thing to say.
Because if we have more police interacting with people, having them on the streets, we can prevent crimes. We can prevent petty crimes from turning into something worse. But we also have to have an organized effort against gangs. Just as in a previous generation we had an organized effort against the mob. We need to take these people on. They are often connected to big drug cartels. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. And the President has asked the FBI to launch a very concerted effort against gangs everywhere.
The fact that you even have to say Black Lives Matter lets you know how bad the problem is. People who don't understand the Black Lives Matter movement need to understand. When you feel that the government is against you, who's going to be with you?
Bill Clinton was giving a speech down in Philadelphia and had a bunch of Black Lives Matter protesters came in and tried to shout him down. And they're upset. They remember back in the 90s when Hillary Clinton, running for president now, talked about gang members as super predators, and had used that kind of rhetoric to justify the notion of a lot of the tough crime policies that her husband and the Congress and all those people passed. You know, super predator, that's like the kind of stuff people used to say about the guys in NWA, right? And the culture that you guys represented. It seems crazy that we're still having this conversation in 2016.
To call your own citizens super predators is pretty harsh, and you know, and it's pretty big indictment. You know, it's just like the term thug or hoodlum. You know, it's just an easy brush to paint somebody with, and it's really not solving the problem. It's just making it worse because now you have, you know, the people or the authorities feel like, okay, now they're justified at how they treat these so-called super predators. And what is that? Who is that? I mean, specifically, who are you talking about? Because, you know, the thing back in the 80s, Daryl Gates and the LAPD, they did a war on gangs.
Right, sure.
But if I'm a black kid that's not in a gang and but I look like a gang member to this white officer, then it's a war on me. So that's the problem with a term like super predators.
Right.
And for some reason, the Democrats feel like they're exempt from these protests. Like, we're Democrats. Why are you talking to us like this? Go talk to the Republicans. No, everybody's a little guilty of putting, you know, of turning their back or, you know, or passing bad legislation, and everybody should be called out on it.
I don't know how you would characterize the gang leaders who got 13-year-old kids hopped up on crack and sent them out onto the street to murder other African-American children. Maybe you thought they were good citizens. She didn't. She didn't. You are defending the people who kill the lives you say matter. Tell the truth. You are defending the people who caused young people to go out and take guns. There was a 13-year-old girl in Washington, D.C.
Hey, Clinton!